You are welcome to the third part of this study on chemistry for starters. We'll be looking at the concept of atom, molecule, and ions. Matter is defined as a substance that has mass and occupies space, as we have earlier said in our previous study. It is made up of discrete or tiny particles like atom, molecule, and ions. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which can take part in a chemical reaction. Can you take that after me now? Let's take it together. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which can take part in a chemical reaction. The atomistic school, principally of Leucippus, Democritus, and Epicurus, believed that the subdivision of matter would yield atom. Atoms are the smallest possible particles of an element that could exist and still possess the chemical properties of that element. Now let's look at molecule. A molecule is the smallest particle of a substance that is capable of independent existence and still retain the chemical properties of that substance. A molecule is the smallest particle of a substance that is capable of independent existence and still retain the chemical properties of that substance. A molecule is formed when two or more atoms are chemically joined together. For instance, we have some gases like hydrogen as H2, oxygen as O2, nitrogen as N2, and chlorine as Cl2. Now, this will now take us to what we call atomicity. The number of atoms in a molecule of an element is called atomicity. The number of atoms in a molecule of an element is called atomicity. For instance, hydrogen, which is hydrogen gas, H2, oxygen gas, which is O2, nitrogen gas, which is N2, chlorine gas, which is Cl2. So we can have this as their atomicity. Helium, which is He, has atomicity of 1 and is known as monoatomic. Hydrogen, which exists as H2 as a gas, has atomicity of 2 and is called a diatomic compound or substance. Chlorine, which exists as Cl2, has atomicity of 2 and is also a diatomic compound or substance. Ozone, which is O3, has 3 as atomicity and is known as triatomic substance. Now I want to look at ions. Ions are any atom or group of atoms which possess an electrical charge. There are two of them, two types of ions. We have the positively charged ions or cations like potassium plus, sodium plus, calcium 2 plus, and Fe2 plus. And we also have the second part, which is the negatively charged ions, and they are known as anions, like OH minus, Cl minus, NO3 minus, and SO4 2 minus. Ions are simply produced when atom loses or gain electron. That is when ions are produced. Now let's look at Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. The idea that elements are made up of atoms is called atomicity or atomic theory. I repeat, the idea that elements are made up of atoms is called atomic theory. The idea that elements are made up of atoms is called atomic theory. Can you repeat that after me? The idea that elements are made up of atoms is called atomic theory. So the man George Dalton of England put forward his famous atoms theory, which states as follows. So this man put forward the following atom theory, and they are as follows. 1. All elements are made up of small indivisible particles called atoms. 2. Atoms cannot be created nor destroyed. 3. Atoms of the same element are exactly alike in every aspect and are different from atoms of all other elements. 4. Atoms of different elements can combine in simple whole number ratio to form compounds. And 5. All chemical changes result from the combination or the separation of atoms. So all chemical changes result from the combination or the separation of atoms. Now, there are some modification to this atom theory, and let's quickly look at the modification to this atom theory. Let's look at the modification to atomic theory. So, the first one, it says that all elements are made up of small indivisible particles called atoms. The atomic nature of element is not disputed. Atom can, however, no longer be regarded as indivisible particles because, according to Rutherford discovery, atom is now made up of three main subatomic particles called proton, neutron, and electron. So the man Rutherford discovered that atom is now made up of proton, neutron, and electron. Number two, atoms cannot be created or destroyed. This statement is still acceptable for ordinary chemical reactions. It is still acceptable for ordinary chemical reactions. Then number three, that atoms of the same element are alike in every aspect and differ from atoms of all other elements. The discovery of isotope contradicts this statement. So we have come with the idea of isotope as contradict this particular statement. Now we have, for instance, chlorine that has mass number 35 and atomic number 17 for one chlorine, and another isotope has mass number 37 and atomic number 17. So that has been disputed with this discovery. Number four, atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratio to form compound. This statement is still acceptable for inorganic compound, which usually contain few atoms per molecule. So now we now have a modern atomic theory now, which is a combination of the modified and the old theory. Now let's look at the modern atomic theory. One, the modified Dalton atomic theory is referred to as the modern atomic theory and consists of the following. One, all matter is composed of small particles, some of which are electrically neutral, some are positively charged, while others are negatively charged. Number two, atoms of the same element are not alike, but may have different masses. Number three, an element may have atoms with different masses. These atoms of the same element with different masses are called isotopes. Then number four, atoms of different elements can combine together to form molecules. 5, molecules are the smallest particle of a compound that have the properties of the compound. Number 6, molecules may be further broken down, and when this happens, they no longer have the characteristics of the compound. Number 7, the molecule of a compound consists of the atom of the element that forms the molecule. 8, the molecule of a compound have definite composition and structure. That will now take us to constituent of the atom. Now, the fundamental particles of an atom are proton, electron, and neutron. And protons are positively charged and has a mass of 1 unit. Neutron are neutral and have mass of 1 unit. Electron is negatively charged, has a mass of 1 over 1840 units. So the proton and neutron occupy the nucleus of the atom, while the electron rotate or float on the shells or orbits. So the shell or orbit is known, we have them denoted with this figure or this letter KLMNO, and the maximum number of electrons in the shell is 2n squared. 2n squared is the maximum electron in the. Now let's look at some few definitions again. Atomic number. Atomic number of an element is the number of protons present in the atomic nucleus of the elements. Can you repeat that after me? The atomic number of an element is the number of protons present in the atomic nucleus of the element. Let's take it again. The atomic number of an element is the number of protons present in the atomic nucleus of the element. That is the atomic number. Now, mass number. The mass number of an element is the sum of the proton and the neutron in the atomic nucleus of the elements. Can you take that together with me? The mass number of an element is the sum of the proton and the neutron in the atomic nucleus of the elements. Now we look at the periodic table. Each element has two figures, the big figures and the small figure. That big figure stands for the mass number, and the small figure you see is the atomic number. So we can always use that to do our calculations or apply them when necessary. We are going to close this episode by looking at the term what we call isotope. Isotope are atoms with the same atomic number but different mass number. Can you repeat that with me? Isotope are atoms having the same atomic number but different mass number. So isotope is a concept whereby 2 or 3 elements have the same atomic number but different mass number. So that is all we have to look at in this series. Have a good day.